Good morning, YouTube. Happy Monday. It is great to see you all this Monday morning. For all of you joining, I'm Dr. Melissa Gallagher. I'm a naturopathic physician, and I'm committed to bringing you natural health news here about the pandemic update on a daily basis. And I'm going to grab my Instagram community. They're up here on my phone. Let me bring them in. Welcome, Instagram. Good morning. It's Dr. Melissa here. I am going to be hosting our live daily update about the pandemic. So welcome. I've got YouTube over here, my laptop set up. Welcome, everybody. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Comment down below, give me a like, and please share this video feed so that people can join us through the social channels, because most of us are at home, should be socially isolating, hunkering down. And I just want to give you some updates. So here are some staggering numbers. I've got a whole bunch of notes here. So just in the course of a weekend, from Friday late afternoon to Monday morning, we've had worldwide, globally, 32,000 new cases of COVID-19, individuals testing positive. And that's pretty significant. Here in the US right now, I literally just checked it because it's a mobile number. We have 3,774,000 cases. Yesterday, 24 hours ago when I went live, we were at 2,955. So just look at that growth here in the US. And we, at least here in the United States, we are having more cases are being tested. So we're probably going to see an exponential growth in the numbers. Hi, Nerali. It's good to see you. Hey, everybody. Hello, Lonetter. It's so great to come live to you, because my goal here is to give you educational, empowering information and equip you with tools and resources to stay healthy and well. And we will get through this pandemic. It's the first time any of us have dealt with this ever in our lives, obviously. We're going to do it together, and we're going to do it in a healthy, positive, encouraging way. But I am going to promise you, I am going to be very realistic. I'm going to be absolutely transparent, and I am not going to be fear-oriented or alarmist, but I am going to tell you the reality of the situation. And sometimes that might trigger folks, and I apologize if it does. I'm going to hope to deliver it in a positive, encouraging way. But I just want to put that out there, because I had some feedback yesterday that I was fear-mongering and negative, and generally, I'm an optimist, but I think right now, and I want to share why I'm being so realistic, and why yesterday the content topic was about social distancing. In that time period of me going live, we've seen more movement where, like Ohio and California, they're closing restaurants and bars, only going takeout. And I'm just going to give some shout outs to folks. Hi, sis. Hi, Charlene, Janet D, Catherine, Miles, Iris, Francis, TF, good morning to all of you. Whitney, it's great to see you all. So thanks for tuning in and joining me live. I really appreciate your time. I know it's valuable, and so I want to get to it, give you compact, concise, very impactful information. First of all, and apologize, I'm using Gabriel's information. We're doing educational time after our live because he's at home. But this, friends, is, and this might be inversed on Instagram, and I apologize, but this is what we call the COVID-19 spread. And what we're seeing is generally the average is a factor of 3. So why we are recommending, and just globally the healthcare world, to limit the transition and the spread of this very quick spreading virus, is that for one person that has exposure and would be testing positive, if they've had contact with a certain amount of people, the average is 3 of those people they've been in contact with will test positive. Those 3, by the factor of 3, multiplies to 9, to 27, to 81. And in 14 transmissions, 14 points, we now move to 14.3 million individuals. That is crazy. So comment down below. Let me know with the hashtag hunkering. Are you hunkering down? So I saw VC. Hi, we are hunkering down here in Portugal. Thanks for the chat. Thank you for being diligent and keeping you, your family, and everybody safe, because that's what we really need to do. 14 million people, all up to one person. This is the healthy choices and healthy decisions that we're just not making for ourselves, regardless of our health situation, but it is for the greater good. That's significant. Okay. All right. So let's dig into some news. All right. So I want to give you, for many of you, obviously here, the majority, about 85% of my population are based here in the US. I am as well. I'm located in just north of Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm drinking tea today. So you'll be seeing me drink a lot of this tea. This is actually called my stress suppressed tea. I love this stuff. It's great. It has rhodiola and chaga. Very good immune booster. I've got links and stuff. Everything I'm going to talk about, I kind of gathered all my stuff so that I'm armed and dangerous, so you guys can grab information in the chat box. Okay, so here is where we're at. In a matter of a day, Washington State bumped up to 769 cases. So literally in a day, 32 more people were tested positive. The sad part in Washington is 42 have died. And luckily, one has recovered. So that's positive. Next up, the most pronounced state dealing with this is New York State. They have 746 cases. 6 people have died. California is coming up next. We have 431 cases. 6 have died, unfortunately. 6 have recovered. So that's a good sign. And as far as we know, if you do have exposure and you recover, you might have immunity for up to a year, year and a half. So that's very positive. Next up, some other states that for all of you tuning in, just let me know what state you guys are coming in from. But yesterday I'd asked, let me know if you want me to mention your state. So Pennsylvania, we had a lot of viewers from PA, 108 cases there, 2 have died. Massachusetts, they have 164, 0 have died, yay, and 1 have recovered. So that's really positive. Massachusetts is a big healthcare hub, same with Philly. Georgia, we have 111 cases, 1 has died. And on the note of Georgia, I mentioned yesterday, we weren't sure what Brian's company was going to put out. And then he was like, oh no. And he sat down and read an email that somebody at corporate where they have a campus, so there's multiple buildings, and they're not being absolutely transparent, but somebody on campus has symptoms of COVID-19. They did come into contact with another employee offsite that has tested positive. So that's really crazy. So you might hear Brian in the background. He's working from home today. So that's just why I'm very much urging all of our local Georgia friends and family to stay put. When we look at the Georgia map, it's very centric to Atlanta. Part of that might very well be because we have a huge airline or airport hub, but do hunker down. It's not worth one person impacting potentially 14 million people. That's a serious multiplier. Okay, back to it. Florida, 155 cases. This has really moved very quickly, and we have grown to 5 deaths in Georgia. Louisiana is moving up in this number. It's 103 that have tested positive, 2 deaths in Louisiana. Colorado, they've got now the drive-through testing. They were, I think, the first state to launch that next to Washington. 135 cases, 1 death. Texas is bumping up at 77 cases, 0 deaths. And Spain, right now, Spain is getting rocked. They're at that really high peak of that curve, the bell curve. And I'm going to write down some comments too here. Spain, the deaths doubled overnight. They had 288 deaths last night. So we here in the US and other countries, all of you watching who are not in a dire state like Italy or Spain, the key is for us to not be in that state. So the most impactful thing is you can stay at home. Crystal Adams Murphy says, I'm staying home. Fortunately, I work in customer service and body care and vitamins department, and now I'm sick and I am and have been taking all kinds of supplements. I will not return to work for some time, which is very smart. I know this is really hard and there's a financial hit. We at the end of the day, there's a bigger hit if you go into the hospital. There's a much greater hit in terms of the quality of your life and your life itself. Okay, so let's dig into what I wanted to promise, what I promised you I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do this morning is to tell you a little bit about what we know from just some early clinical research about the surface lifespan of the virus. And there are two detailed clinical studies that we have, and I have those. I will actually post those in the notes. I forgot to add the links. But the first and most recent analysis, it is not peer reviewed, so I have to put that out there. But it was conducted by the CDC, the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, as well as some of the bigger hospital systems like Johns Hopkins and up in Boston as well. So what they found is that the virus can live on surfaces. It lives within the air through respiratory droplets. So that's like a sneeze. And, sometimes we don't see it. Like, people have snot flying out of their nose or whatnot, but droplets are minuscule particles. So you may sneeze, nothing comes out, but really there are respiratory air molecules that have water, and the virus is attached to that. The droplets themselves can live up to 3 days, and there's a lot of unknown. So I have to tell you, we don't know exactly the extent of its lifespan, but we do know that the virus will live in air for 3 hours. Okay, so somebody sneezes, you've got 3 hours of potential. Now, they are speculating that 3-hour time span is when somebody sneezes close to somebody. Maybe it hits somebody's clothing, it hits somebody's face, then that person touches, and then transmission. That is where there's some lack of clarity. So I want to put that out there, but obviously being social distancing, hunkering down, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces will all be very impactful and effective at killing the virus. Copper surfaces. I don't know how many of us are touching copper, but they assess this, and the virus lives on copper for 4 hours. Cardboard. So all of us, and I'm encouraging a ton of people to order online. So we got our first Instacart order last night. We've got more coming. I've got some Amazon packages coming because I just started making my list of things that are essential items that would normally cause me to run out to CVS, Walgreens, Target, my local stores. We don't want to do that. And that also includes your pets, friends. So, make sure your pets are covered too. So cardboard, the virus lives on that for 24 hours. Now, this is the kicker, the one where we have greatest exposure, plastic and steel. So you start thinking about shopping bags, shopping carts, materials when you're out in a retail setting, materials in a work setting, materials all around our world where, everyday life items, handles, and things like that. So the virus lifespan on plastic and steel is 2 to 3 days. That's without any sanitizing, cleaning, or anything, but that is just live. So somebody sneezes, those respiratory particles with the virus falls on steel or plastic, and it will stay there for 2 to 3 days. Now, just think about that. How many people could be touching the potentially said plastic or the potential metal? So just FYI on that. Now, I had some questions about clothing, and I know we also have a lot of viewers, particularly yesterday, they were asking, I'm frontline customer service, like our one commenter here on YouTube, or I have a loved one that's a frontline first responder. And clothing. So one of the things that you can have transmission on clothing, the best thing is to wash your clothing in hot water. And so heat itself will kill the virus. Now, I want to be clear about the heat, the number. It was Celsius in the report, converted to Fahrenheit. 137 degrees is the temperature that it takes to kill the virus. Now, I also had some questions yesterday about sunlight. Like, I had somebody who wanted to, he lived in Florida, and I don't know if you're on here, comment if you are, I can't remember your name, but I had somebody who wanted to sunbathe completely clothing free. He's probably at one of those camps in Florida, but that will not kill the virus. So sun exposure, UV light would not be enough from just the sun. Those surfaces just don't get to that temperature. So, washing your clothing in hot water is not a bad idea. Same with bedding, same with anything. If you are frontline, what I would recommend is that you might have a changing station in your in outside. Obviously, try not to do it outside, but maybe in your what do you call them, garage, in your garage, change your clothing, and then kind of sanitize yourself or take a shower. So obviously a hot shower and cleansing with soap breaks down the virus. So that's the specific information that's new, and that is via medrxiv.org. And I'm going to go ahead in my YouTube, to my YouTube community. I'm going to type in that website so you can grab this specific report. And I'm only going to give you factually based, substantiated clinical data when you come to my website, or come to my live shows. Let's see. So let me send that over to you guys. So there's a link down below, YouTube, in the chat box where you can grab that research. Okay, so there was a February study in the Journal of Hospital Infection that analyzed, this is early stages from, January was when they were able to quickly get this published. They said that COVID-19, which is a SARS-2 version, it mirrors SARS and MERS, and they were analyzing the lifespan, the surface lifespan of COVID-19 on metal, glass, and plastic, and they identified that it can live up to 9 days on those surfaces. And the difference here, like we've had a lot of people, we had, kind of a spammer yesterday on our YouTube community chat where they're like, it's just the flu. Well, the flu will stay alive. The flu, surface level life is only 48 hours, so 2 days. So fast forward, you potentially were looking at up to 9 days of a surface lifespan of a virus. And that's a lot of people that it comes into contact. Okay, so now the other thing that I want to highlight is that there are disinfectants that can help break down the viral shell and will kill the virus. And disinfectants that have 62 to 70% ethanol, a 0.5% hydrogen peroxide, and or a 0.1% bleach. And I'm tasked, I've got a running list of YouTube videos, and I'm shooting as much as I can with Gabriel home and Brian's schedule. So one of the things that I will be trying to do is to give you some home related cleaning. But at the end of the day, one of my things that I recommend and have been recommending is the Forces of Nature. I don't have my units up there, but this is a EPA brand that is identified to kill COVID-19. In the description box of YouTube, it's down below. Instagram, DM me if you want me to get you that link. And they have not sold out. And I know I've seen a lot of people getting very concerned about things selling out. Whitney has a great question. Do you have a recommendation on how to clean cardboard packages and any plastic within if we cannot leave our packages outside for 24 hours? So that's what we're kind of doing. We're just leaving cardboard outside if we don't need it for 24 hours. And thanks, Charla and Ayana. Welcome, everybody. One of the things that you can do is to use your force of nature. So force of nature will kill the virus. And this is a much more economical solution. There are some discount codes. I think Sanitize is the code for this month. And it's, I think, 50% off a starter kit. So you get this bottle, the electrolyzer, and 5 of the liquids. And basically it's a combination of salt, a combination of water that you would use, and the electrolyzer turns it into a chemical compound. And that's the magic of this. It's clean and it's highly effective against COVID. And because everything on the shelves are out, this is really good. Pat Wagner says, there's a commenter saying stores are not sold out of anything. No store near us has all sorts of things totally sold out. And that is what we're kind of seeing. And comment down below if you're noticing this. I talked to my cousin who's up in the DC area. He works for the government. And we have other family members scattered throughout the US. This is impacting different communities. And it's also one of these things where, depending on the population, they're kind of educational perspective, what news are they getting, I think is the degree of how responsive people are being to their awareness and gathering and getting things out. So Force of Nature, there's a link down below in the description box. That stuff is fantastic. It's super clean. It has just a mild odor. It's not anything crazy, but the electrolyzer converts the little packet that they give you into a power punch. Okay, so all right, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but all right. So the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and what we mentioned yesterday, is I want to highlight, particularly, this covers everybody. I want to talk about immune modulators, and this is a category of particular botanicals in this instance that are very beneficial in regulating, enhancing your immune response. And so immune regulators actually create a deep immune activation. And what that means is, for a lot of my autoimmune patients and autoimmune viewers, if you have Hashimoto's, autoimmunity of the thyroid, if you have rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia is in that category, MS, maybe you have lupus or Sjogren's, or you might have a digestive related autoimmunity, Graves' disease. Your best herbal botanical immune booster, and they are boosting, but in a very different way, these immune modulators won't ratchet up the autoimmunity. And that's always a concern when we have candidates who are in this risk factor. So one of the things that we have seen in the 16 to 18% that fall into the critical category, that this can turn very, very quickly into a situation where you're on a ventilator or even perspire, we see that autoimmunity will trigger this attack of the whole entire body. And those candidates turn septic. So the organs start to shut down, and they will see that there's a greater impact on the body. Immune modulators will downgrade that autoimmunity, but they will activate the immune system so that it's not turning on itself. And in fact, it recognizes a foreign invader, a viral invader. So let me know if that makes sense. And if you guys take any type of immune modulators, I'm going to list them out for you. And I know that supplies are limited in stores. I also know online, Amazon we're starting to see some change in accessibility. I did check this morning my Full Script store, which is my clinical grade store. We have two warehouses, one in the Northeast. I think we're in Lower New Jersey, and then in Arizona. I did list some, and I recommend a lot. I recommend a lot of these anyway, but let me go down the list. Astragalus is one of my favorite immune modulators. Astragalus definitely is a power punch. I personally used it when I fell ill in my early 20s, and it's just a very, very strong immune astringent, if you will, and it does help to downplay and suppress the T cells. Those are those cells that get activated in autoimmunity. We see a higher level of those. It will trigger the killer cell activity. So it suppresses the autoimmune cell activity, and it'll trigger the killer cell activity. So that is why we get a lot of high benefits from folks that are in an autoimmune category, and we can still support their immune system with astragalus. Echinacea falls into that category. That's another one that, and I actually have an echinacea tea. You can grow echinacea. This is unfortunately a summer kind of base plant. It's really pretty, they call it coneflower, but echinacea is a really good immune booster, immune modulator that will regulate the immune system. Korean ginseng is another one. My favorite is Siberian ginseng, or we call it Siberian eleuthero, or just eleuthero. I have a link, YouTube, in the description box. I know for sure we have those available. The astragalus liquid in a 1 ounce in Herb Farm. And then reishi mushroom. And mushrooms fall in this category. I kind of mentioned yesterday, I posted on Instagram on my feed. I'm a huge fan of the My Community and the Host Defense. This Myco Shield, it's literally like a peppermint based spray, and it has reishi, chaga, birch, turkey tail. So it has a bunch of immune boosters, immune modulators, and I just literally, I spray on my tongue. It's very pepperminty, but it's a very powerful power punch for just global immunity. So one of the things that I want to mention is, you guys know, let me take this is really minty. And welcome everybody. I'm seeing more joining on YouTube. Hey, everybody on Instagram. Please let me give a quick plug. Please like this. Please share it on YouTube. And I'm going to encourage you, if you guys have any specific questions, comment down below. And I'm trying to regulate. I'm going to be hiring a comment moderator. So if anybody wants to take that task, let me know. I am definitely, we need to manage some of these folks. But anyway, I want to share with you a blend I've been using. Gabriel actually loves this in his almond butter. And this is one of the things I'm thinking already about workarounds. Okay, so we know the traditional go-to supplements that might be off the shelves or might be going lower online or in online stores. You can grab the collagen, the Further Food collagen with reishi. So they got the peptides. They have the reishi mushroom, but it's not just reishi. They actually have lohan guao, which is monk fruit, and they have a little cacao powder, but they also have a lot of amino acids. So one of the things is keeping your micro, macro level, keeping those levels high also is very supportive of your immunity. And this you can buy straight out from Further Food. I have a link down below to all of you. It's Further Foods. I think it's furtherfoods.com. And you can grab 10% off. NHR10 is our coupon code. This stuff, I mean, I have to order some today because we're almost out. It's so good. And it smells really good. It's got a kind of a nutty, chocolatey flavor. It's fantastic. So you can get your reishi mushroom in different ways if you find that you're unable to order your mushroom blends online or in a liquid, herbal, or capsule, or even buying and having those delivered, which are all the ways that I'm recommending. Catherine, Claire, DM me. I need a moderator. Okay, so let me share with you a few other very powerful immune modulators. Sheep sorrel is sheep, like the animal sorrel, S-O-R-R-E-L. This is a powerful immune modulator as well. It's super, super powerful at balancing that whole autoimmune response. It does turn on the killer cells, and that's what we want. Any type of viral bacterial invasion, we definitely want to have that be enhanced in the body. The other thing that a lot of these do is they invigorate the macrophages. So they invigorate this whole immune response. I had a lot of folks commenting about lymphedema. I know I have a large population of individuals with lymphatic disorders. And one of the things is you definitely want to make sure you're dry skin body brushing. So for all of us, our immune boosting has to do with our lymphatics. And so there are key areas like underneath your armpits, in the groin, so where your leg and your hip meet, that's a big lymph connector. And then around the abdomen. So you do like circular pattern around the abdomen. That is very powerful and motivating your lymphatics. And that will help when individuals take immune boosters and immune modulators. It'll help enhance the impact of your body's immune response. And that's the key. This is so multi-layered. It's minimize your impact, minimize your exposure, minimize you being in public, minimize the contact with your fingers and your eyes, your nose and your mouth. And then we go internal, boost your immunity, regulate your immunity, modulate your immunity, boost up and fortify your micro and macro nutrients, boost your enzymes and all of those factors that keep you healthy and well. So thanks everybody for positive comments. I really appreciate all of your participation. Let me also tell you one, and I'm going to be very cautious here. YouTube, by the way, not so much on Instagram, but YouTube is even censoring this type of information. So I've been demonetized on all of my lives. It's very annoying. So super chat's on if you guys want to contribute. No obligation, but it's very, very frustrating because I don't know why they're censoring this type of content. But I've been censored on the herbal, botanical that is federally illegal, but is legal in each of the states. It's very annoying. But hemp oil, the extract, they put a big clamp down on that. So with that being said, I have to cover this up. I have in my store, I actually have here, I've got a few cases of this. The herbal botanical, that I can't say, that's 3 letters. And it plus turmeric and ginger. This is a really good, powerful tea that'll motivate your lymphatic system. Ginger and turmeric are motivating to moving the lymphatic flow. They'll decongest the lymphatics. They'll also get rid of any bacterial invasion. Ginger is a good antimicrobial, antibacterial. Turmeric is fantastic. These little tea bags, there are 18 of them. So we're selling those in our store. And I know a lot of people are having a challenge getting access even to those products. So just FYI, I have a link down below. Okay, so the other factor, I have a whole bunch of notes. I want to be armed and prepared and informative for you. The other thing I want to mention, I saved this last, but I really want to mention this because I know we have a lot of viewers right now. Your time is so valuable, and I want to make sure that I've seen a lot of comments already today. One of the things that is very concerning to all of you is that there's this impending sense of doom. There's a lot of fear, and we're in a perilous time. And I say that because that word I feel like really fits this situation. We can't see what's going on. And because of that, that just triggers a lot of folks. It triggers the immune response. It triggers our cortisol and our adrenal response. This is all human nature. Our fight or flight response will be triggered. It can be triggered for all of us and each of us in individual ways. Our history, our body biochemistry is a factor. But thanks, Dee. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. One of the things that we have to be really cognizant is our stress levels, our exposure to stressful aspects. And I honestly, Ella, my assistant who lives in the Philippines, she's, thanks, Cupcake Paper. I appreciate it. My assistant is in the Philippines and she's on lockdown, and she sent me an image that could very well be a trigger for a lot of people. There are tons of people in line. Caught some of the news last night. I was like, oh my gosh, it is very easy for us to fall into this freak out mode. So, and as I drink this tea, this is my super adapt tea. It's adaptogenic. These are herbs that are very powerful. It's chaga. It has tulsi, holy basil. It has rhodiola, hibiscus. These are all really powerful herbs to lower our stress levels. What we have to do is we have to balance every day. I want you to really think about taking time and putting into place stress reducing activities. Yoga, Lois Lyons here on YouTube had mentioned there's some really great yoga providers that can help. We can do yoga at home. So we aren't going to our gyms and we're being homebound. Doesn't mean we're locked in. We can be out and about. Like today, it's a little dreary and raining, so we might not take the dogs out. We might not be playing outside, but we can break out our yoga mat. We can do deep breathing exercises, which, by the way, Dolly loves this. My stress has caused my lymphedema to act crazy. Yes, that totally happens. Stress can decrease our immune system. Stress can make us vulnerable to to viral bacterial invasions. It just can wear on our body. So as we go through this together, friends, I want to make sure we're armed and dangerous with teas. And I had somebody who said, don't say armed and dangerous, fortified. I want you all fortified and well. And fortification also means addressing your adrenal health. And I've posted for YouTube, I posted some of my favorite adrenal supportive supplements They're in store right now. I can't guarantee that in 12 hours or even 3 hours. Stuff's moving really fast, and I'm trying to stay on top of what I can get you based on what we're getting in, stocking the shelves, and what's moving. So thanks for sharing my channel to Twitter. I appreciate that. Okay, so yes, fortifying your body, utilizing lymphatic motivators. Again, this tea, highly motivating to your lymphatics, and that is in my store. I see cases on my shelves. I can get those out to you today in the mail. But the big thing is just balance your body. Laura says, yoga is against my Christian religion. I'm sorry to hear that, but deep breathing shouldn't be. And that's all that yoga is. Yoga is about deep breathing, moving your body, stretching your muscles. So I would encourage you to do those exercises, to elongate your spine, to just relax. Sleep is going to be important. Okay, so with that being said, I want to move on to some more information. I promised you yesterday, today we would talk about equipping your homes, because one of the things that I want you to think about, first of all, everybody, I'm seeing a lot of stress. Let's all take a big deep breath, okay? We're going to breathe in through our nose. One of the things that happens when we take big deep breaths, there's a pocket of gas here that can relax our body. So I want you to breathe in. Okay, we're going to breathe out through our mouth. Go. Okay, breathe in. And out. Okay, that activity activates our biochemistry and causes us to relax. Holistic Life by Kate. I live in Northern Italy. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge. You're welcome. Absolutely, it is my honor. So deep breathing like that is going to be absolutely important for decreasing your stress level. One of the things that happens when people are stressed, they stop breathing, and that triggers the body. So your breath is, we say, the breath of life. Your breath is everything. Your breath can regulate your heart rate. It can reduce your cortisol levels. It can bring peace to your body. Okay, I want you to be encouraged by that, because this is clinically proven that breathing and yoga will reduce your stress levels. Meditation particularly. And meditation could be prayerful meditation. There's a lot of different ways. Transcendental meditation is a prayerful active meditation that can be very powerful. Okay, so let's talk about your home. We are all, and if we aren't, we should be. And even if you're frontline and you have to be out in front working with people, your home is, it should be, oh, thanks, Charla. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Your home is going to be your haven, and it should be a home base and a safe place. And what I want to communicate are things that I have done and I'm recommending for folks. I'm going to try and put this together in a PDF, just timing wise. But your home, you can create a home that will be beneficial to your healing, that will enhance the oxygen levels, that will help keep you safe. So I want to share with you some things that you can do. I have over here, I want to share with you guys. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. You guys see right there over here, that is a salt lamp. Okay, so I have a salt lamp. I have them in a lot of rooms. I have them in our bedrooms. Salt lamps, I'm going to just move this back. Actually, I'll just keep that there. Okay, salt lamps, friends, are very, very potent in terms of reducing, trapping viral bacterial activity. Salt therapy, halotherapy, has been around for thousands of years, thousands and thousands. We can go back to early days where salt was used. Salt has always been therapeutic, and salt lamps like this, they emit negative ionization. And this is proven, the negative ionization actually will minimize dust particles, dander, allergens. So it's great for folks who have what, in this case with COVID-19, they fall into a category of risk factors. Folks with compromised lung or immune capacity, breathing, asthma issues, congestion. One of my patients DM'd me on Instagram. He's recovering from pneumonia. Prime time to break out the salt lamps. You can get these. These are accessible on Amazon. I've got links down below. You can still buy these. These you can have in your home, in your office. I haven't found one that's portable that it can plug into your car. I'm on the hunt though, because that definitely would be great. But the reality is you can have these in a lot of different places. And even going to your local halotherapy facility is not a bad idea as long as you take all the right precautions and wipe down. And I know those places are, we have one local, our salt and sweat spa. That's where Gabriel and I go anytime he has sinus congestion, any ear stuff that's happening, and it will help support your sinuses. Also, to that note, I have a whole box down here just for all of us to talk about stuff. Saline spray. Saline spray is another aspect that not only you're going to diffuse the salt and it's going to be in the air, but you should definitely have on hand. Again, these have not gone away yet. The Simply Saline. This is very, very powerful. So definitely very powerful at motivating the sinuses. So salt lamps are really powerful. The other thing, and it's hard for me to set this up, but UV air filters. UV, and going back to like the surface life, there are certain UV tools that you can use to sanitize. So I know that a lot of schools, a lot of companies that are doing sanitizing, UV is definitely part of it. And that is one aspect that I'm going to encourage. In your home, you just don't have a HEPA filter, but you have a UV filter. UV, people will install UV in their air vents. That's something that's a really higher, more expensive upgrade. It's something that I want to do in this house and plug in and definitely incorporate. So Asta_Thomas, does this have a plug-in? Yes. I don't know if you can see the plug. See the plug right there. I'm going to shift my laptop here. See that black plug right there? Right here. Yeah, so right there. That's the plug. So it does have to be plugged in. So the salt spas do have to be, or salt lamps do have to be plugged in. This one, I actually grabbed about 2.5. It was right before Christmas at Aldi. They were $9.99, and you know, my Aldi finds, I purchased, I think, 4 of them. And it has a monitor where I can really make it bright or I can dim it down. And I have this going all the time in Gabriel's room, all the time. Okay, so the air filtration is going to be key. And then let's talk about natural air filtration. See this little plant that I have? It's a variegated plant. He's a little bit of a newer guy to my clinic. He doesn't normally sit up here on my shelf. He's over on a different shelf that's behind my traditional working desk. But these are great little plants. And this is I think it's called a golden pathos. But you guys might have these already. If they're outdoors, sorry, I feel like I'm spitting. If they're outdoors, you can bring them in and you can utilize plants. Plants can be air filters. NASA has done a lot of clinical research. Let me share with you some of the top air filtering plants that you can add to your home. You can add to your offices if you're allowed to bring plants in. Spider plants, aloe vera, peace lily. I love peace lily. It's a little pesky. It likes a particular amount of water, particular amount of light. But once you give it all of those happy things, those things will be very, very happy. Sorry, I still have weddings. I keep forgetting to halt folks on my phone. So apologize. I still have wedding calls from vendors. Okay, English ivy and the areca palm. Those are all very good house plants for you to have. So definitely please consider bringing those in, bring them into your home if they're outside, because they will filter your air. They will produce more oxygen. These are all good things for us to have in our lives right now. And plants make people happy. Talking to them is very beneficial. And one of the things too, this is a really good recommendation. I love this. I'm going to share with everybody. Lois Lyon said, would using a blow dryer on packages kill the virus with the heat setting on high? So that's a great question. I would say to test it, as long as it could get to 137 degrees. And by the way, I curled my hair today and it gets to I think 130. Test it by having your thermometer and blow the hot and see how high it gets. If it gets up to 37, then I would say yes. But 137 degrees Fahrenheit is the heat requirement, minimum heat requirement to kill the casing of the viral cell. Okay. Let's see. That is it in terms of all of the details I wanted to provide. Now I'm opening our live show to questions and answers. Before I do that, because I covered this earlier in this session, we are now at 210 and about 30 folks on Instagram in our live. I want to share with you the multiplier, what we consider the exponential transmission. So for what they say is that there's one person who tests positive, that the factor of transmission is a factor of 3. So, one person might interface with 20 to 50 people on a daily basis. Of those, 3 will test positive. That's what they're seeing. This is epidemiology. This is clinical data, friends. I'm not making this up. This is what we've seen in China. This is what we've seen in South Korea and Italy. We're seeing in Spain. The multiplier in a matter of 14 steps goes from 1 to 3 to 9 to 27 down to, what is that? 531,000. And then 3 more steps, 14.3 million people. This is why we are recommending you to stay in place, to minimize your going outside and engaging with people. Social interactions in groups are not a good idea. And this is why 1 to 3 to 14.3 million is insane. And that is why hunkering down, avoiding crowds, shopping online, ordering online is going to be absolutely crucial. Okay, so I want to cover this again. Feel free, if you want to do a screenshot, snap it, and you can share this on your Instagram stories. I'd encourage you, please tag me if you do, and I'll share it. But this is really crucial data. So 1 in 14 steps, 1 to 14.3 million. This is why I'm hoping we're going to see more substantial mandates here in the US, because we do not want to be in the state of Italy or Spain right now. And that likelihood is great. Okay, so now on a happy note, I want to give you lots of encouraging commentary. So one of the things that I want you to be aware of is, at the end of the day, we have control and power over our mind and our actions. And everything that you do can equip you and empower you to be motivating your immune system, boosting your immune system. And I told Nina, I will totally do that. It can be very powerful at boosting the state of your body's immunity. And so panicking, I know it's very easy to do that. What I want you to do is go into the deep breathing. Anytime you start to have that like fight or flight, that is what we call this anxiety, the fear, it's fight or flight. This is a natural biochemical response. The first step that will cut that and minimize that, because there's all these enzymatic reactions that occur. The first step, recognize, stop, and breathe. Okay, so that's the first step, first layer. That's a defense that you can implement all the time. The other thing is be restrictive with your exposure, not just to people, but to news, media, and just be very cognizant of that energy, because we all are impacted in a different way. Okay, so let's answer some questions. Comment down below if you want me to answer questions. Crystal Sterling, does wearing the little masks help at all? So the best masks are the N95 masks. Those are more of the medical professional hospital grade. That just covers the nose and the mouth. We also want to cover our eyes. And I have to say, I was a little concerned in my viewing of the media last night, pictures of the drive-through facilities. The testers were not covering their eyes. Potentially that could put them at risk if somebody sneezes, with the whole idea that transmission, the particles, 3 hours in air. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, Aretha, life and style catalyst, 3 deep breaths is key. Absolutely. Can you comment on the effectiveness of washing your hands versus using sanitizer? Absolutely. I actually posted, with Ella's help, on my Instagram feed, basically washing soap in warm water. The soap itself emulsifies and actually breaks down the wall of the virus. So washing your hands has the most beneficial effect. And obviously the methodology of washing your hands, you want to be very thorough, wash for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. You want to be, washing in between your fingers, fingertips, the palms, even up past your wrist. Just think about like what you might be touching. Even up here, you might put your wrists on a countertop, finger underneath your fingernails. So it's not ideal, ladies, to trim down our nails so that we limit any type of exposure or viral virus getting underneath our nails. So I hope that answered that question. Let's see, Sheena, I use oil of oregano, GSE, which is grapeseed extract, interchangeably in my water. That's a really great idea. Yesterday, I was mentioning a lot about oil of oregano. You can apply that. It's a hot oil, so you want to be really cautious about consuming it. You want to flush it down really fast. A drop or two is all you need. And that is going to be something I'm going to detail in a YouTube video about lung poultices. That's for my folks that are smokers or that have weakened lung capacity. Steph Van Corsiglia. Hi, Steph. It's great to see you. I haven't seen you on live in a while. I'm hearing mixed reviews on benefits of elderberry syrup. Should I be concerned about taking? I don't know what mixed reviews you might be hearing or seeing, but elderberry, oh, there's a squirrel eating. Sorry, you guys. I have a little bird feeder, and the squirrel is totally eating all the food for my birds. Oh, rascal. Okay, so elderberry. I do love elderberry, and I use it quite a lot. I get the raw elderberries, and I will boil those up. One of the things that I do know that there are some folks autoimmune-wise that we're a little cautious with elderberry. But if you don't have any autoimmunity and you really just want to fortify and bolster your immune system, I think that's highly beneficial. Okay. Amina B, do you think it's still safe to go out shopping like clothing stores? Nope. No shopping. This is where I'm being very, very transparent and very realistic. We, in our family, we are not having social engagements. We are not going out. We are not going shopping. We had our last restaurant run Friday evening at our local favorite Italian restaurant. And we ordered out. Brian ran in and took out. We are not going to do that for however long we need to, because at this point, we can get everything we need online. We have more than enough here. So there are essentials, underwear, bras, socks, whatever you need. I would recommend ordering online. Shopping online is proving to be just as exciting for me, not as exciting, but is definitely catering to my kind of joy of shopping. But I would recommend that you stay and hunker down, because not only are you, let's go back to this number. Okay. So I'm always going to reference this anytime there's, any doubt whether or not you should be going out and about and being social. What if you go to a shopping store and clothing, we know it can stay on clothing. We just don't know how long. So you try the clothing on, you've got transmission possibly over your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. That could be one person that could have been in that store in that area. Then they are going to impact 3. That could be you. And then that's where we see 14.3 million people potentially could get this. So I would say, no, that's not a good idea. Go online if you can. Let's see. Dorothy, oh, this is cute. Dorothy says you can sing the happy birthday song while you wash your hands. That's a great recommendation. I'm going to share that with Gabriel. Excuse me. When I'm talking a lot, I get a little dry. I love this tea. Again, this is such a good tea. I didn't flavor it up, but sometimes I'll put my Manuka honey in it. And Manuka is another antibacterial, antiviral, really good for coating your throat. MLMJ 2012. Hey, she asked, what about our pets? Can cats and dogs catch it somehow from going outside? That's an excellent question. I was reading these 2 reviews, particularly the latest one. It's www.medrxiv.org. I posted it in the live chat here, friends. They didn't specifically study cats and dogs and the human transmission to those animals. As far as being outside, no clue. I don't know what they would encounter, but the greatest potential transmission could be from human to the animal. And so what they recommend is, if you are out and about, come home, wash your hands, love on your pet. So don't pet them before you come home. The other thing too is if you sneeze or or like with Brian's case, his office has had some exposure. We're waiting to hear more details, but this is one of those scenarios where we're going to take extra precautions. And that would be one of those things. If we coughed, we sneezed, had any type of, potential transmission, wash your hands, undo your nails, sing your happy birthday song like Dorothy had recommended, and then love on your pet. But, here's the other thing. Our pets are going to be highly impactful for especially a lot of folks that might be in, nursing home settings or assisted living facilities or homebound. Love on your pet, their companionship, and they will reduce your stress. And that is very helpful. Hi, April. Oh, I think I saw that come through. So I'll get this in the mail to you today. And I'll include a lip gloss for you. So I've got lip glosses here. Okay. So Sabina Hamid, will high temperatures reduce the transmission? That's an excellent question. And in the research that I read, what they've identified, just like with some of the other ones, high temperatures generally come with higher humidity levels. And it's the humidity that actually creates a buffer. So the outdoor humidity can be beneficial in limiting the transmission. But one of the things that hey, Emily, hi. One of the things that they had identified is that indoors, it's not as humid with air conditioning. So despite potentially outdoor high temperatures, that does not have any bearing when it comes to being inside. We have lower humidity, we have lower temperatures, and you could have the peak of summer and people being indoors and there be transmission that way. And again, going back to like the home items, our office, you can have your salt lamps, you can have the plant, the air purifiers. The other thing, apart from the force of nature, again, I can't say enough about this. I don't see them going out of stock on this, despite Clorox wipes and Microban and bleach and even hydrogen peroxide. Those are all alcohol. That's all off the shelves in stores. Amazon is seeing a dip in their supply. But the good news is force of nature, they'll be able to meet some of the supply that we need. So do check out that link in the YouTube description. Here's the other thing. I talked a lot about this yesterday, but as far as air purifiers, this is one of these, it's a diffuser, an aromatherapy diffuser. I put warm water in here. Warm waters was recommended on something I read years ago. So that's what I just do in the water. And then you can put it still smells really good. You can put your drops in, and there's all different types of things that you can diffuse. And some of the oils, like I grabbed this from the local Walgreens, but now you can buy online, and actually they have a whole sample kit. They don't sell these individually for some reason on Amazon, but YouTube, I've got a link to this particular brand, Guru Nanda. I love it. Oh, it's really good. So it smells fantastic. And in fact, last night when I was walking around with my robe, I just dabbed a drop on each side of my robe. And Brian's even given me diffuser necklaces. So you can have diffuser jewelry, earrings that can diffuse the aromatherapy, and you're, walking around smelling, and it kind of creates this, just think about it. We kind of want to create some bubbles. So you are going to have to be in public, and I say have to be, not want to be, to go shopping, look at, stores, and just go online. We have technology to our advantage, and Instacart and, some of the different online vendors are fantastic. We got eggs, and I got some extra laundry detergent online. So let me just share my recommendations. The oils that are highly beneficial. And by the way, I might have to Instagram. I'm going to lose you. Stay on. I'll come back on live. It only lets an hour go on our live shows. So I want to share with you the ingredients that are great as essential oils for immune boosting and fortifying, protecting your body, your home. Clove oil is fantastic. Tea tree oil is an astringent. Eucalyptus, that's really good for sinuses, so that can help clear and open sinus passages. Rosemary is fantastic. Frankincense, that's one of the 3 original kind of commodities back in the old day. It's the gifts of the Magi. Frankincense is fantastic. Lemon and oregano. This is great. The oregano, I love this because it has the oregano in it. I have not seen a blend that has that in its potency, and it's so fantastic. So love, love, love. Okay, so New York Val, coronavirus response is a calculated scam. I would encourage you to ask those folks that are on ventilators if they think it's a calculated scam. It's not, and let's avoid the misinformation. I think it's important that we open our ears, open our minds to data and clinical information. We have epidemiologists and scientists and researchers and virologists, the individuals that study viruses. They are tuned in and aware, and they are not making this up. So it is not a scam. It's not enhanced by the media. This is enhanced by our lack of awareness, our lack of education, our lack of staying homebound and limiting our exposure. One infected person in 14 steps could infect, it could very well infect, I say this, you could infect 14.3 million people. That's not a calculated scam. That is exponential growth. Okay, let's be smart, people. Just can't tolerate that. Okay, so Instagram, I'm going to bring them back up. We've been going on for about an hour. So what brand essential oil was that? It is called Guru Nanda. And there's a description box where I put up a link because I have all of you ask for links. And so I just started to prepare them, kind of knowing what I was going to be talking about. Let me bring Instagram back on. But Guru Nanda. Hi, Instagram. We're back on talking about pandemic update today. For all of you new joining, please like and share. We had a lot of questions. I didn't get to all of them, so go ahead and ask your questions down below. I welcome all of you as we get educated, empowered, and our bodies fortified to stay healthy during this perilous time. All right, so one of the things that I do want to highlight, Guru Nanda, Gurunanda. And again, if you click on, there's a little drop down, look on the description box. I've got a detail and there's a link. You can grab it on Instagram. So here's a great question. Duana Lucas, Doc M, how long should we keep our family at home? Excellent question. For as long as is needed. I know New York, yesterday and over the weekend, they made a calculated decision. Schools might very well be closed through the end of the school season. So that's definitely a telling state. The one thing that is, I think, really impactful is that companies, some of the big retailers are just closing their stores and going online. I appreciate that response. I feel like one of the things that we have to do is we have to be ahead of the curve. And being ahead of the curve means being ahead of just even the information you're going to get on the news. You know, we should have started hunkering down last week. We should have started preparing and hunkering down last week. And so one of the things that I do want to tell you, I'm on the final edits for you. I have an Aldi haul. I went on Thursday to Aldi. And again, for many of you tuning in new, we've had to cancel our wedding because of COVID-19. So Brian and I were supposed to be leaving town tomorrow to go down to Florida. Sarasota was where we were going to have our wedding. We had Thursday plans, Friday, the wedding day, Saturday, a brunch. And we kind of started changing our plans early week. We decided we'd drive down. And then with us being gone, I thought, what if things progress and I can't get access to regular food, because our kitchen also has had some devastation. So I'm down one whole side of my kitchen. Our sink's gone, our countertop's gone. I've got this utility sink I'm using. And so we started eating from our pantry and our freezer, anticipating a remodel starting to happen in the next week or two. So it was really important that we go out and I get stocked up. So I've got that video coming. In it comes meal ideas. It comes with kind of a list of items that you could possibly stock up on. And again, a lot of this is online. I Instacarted. I'll share with you my Instacart link. You get 10 off if you have Instacart in your local area. But a lot of stores now can deliver. And to be honest with you, I was chatting with our little delivery person. Her name was Monique. And Brian's now home for at minimum 2 weeks, maybe more. And he has certain foods that he likes. Not always like this stuff. I have to like be really quiet because he's listening, but he doesn't always eat all of my natural stuff. So he wanted some sandwich meat stuff. And like, so I had messaged her like some alternatives and whatever, but all of it was out. But I knew that as she was going through, and just make sure we tipped her really well. I appreciate folks that are in the front line, and it's better if we have limited folks running through the stores than just a massive quantity of people. And the lines, they freak me out. The carts, that is where being at home, we can lower this whole 14.3. All right, so let's take a big deep breath right now. Let's start to reduce our stress levels. Okay, we're going to do collectively a big deep breath. Breathe out through the mouth. Sorry, we've got some yard people coming. So you guys know I'm in working from mode, studio, home. And so the dogs are barking a little bit because yard people are passing. So, the big thing, Sabina, I'm fed up of being at home. I totally understand. Being at home it can be inconvenient. It can be limiting. It can be restrictive. And it can feel like you're trapped. But the reality is you don't have to be. Mama Mia 2468 says, don't stress out and try to remain calm. Absolutely. Here's the other thing. If you have vehicles, you can still drive around. You can take a drive to a park. There are national parks that are open. So, the world, particularly here in the US, we have not seen a shutdown of, our green spaces. And so practicing social distancing in those settings are really, really beneficial. But you can take a walk by the lake, a walk by the river. You can take a walk in your neighborhood, take your animals for walks. It's a great time also to implement self-care practices. So, I have a running list of things I've articulated. I'm going to shoot a video on just ways to make home life, being homebound, a little bit easier. So I hope that will help. You're welcome, Crystal. Let's see. Gotta regulate some comments here. Let me put some people in timeout. All right, so folks, send me some questions, and I'm not going to make this as long as yesterday's, but welcome all of you joining on Instagram. We're talking about how to prepare and equip your body with ways to regulate your immune system. Holistic Life by Kate. I cannot even go for a walk around the block. Okay. If you're at home, you can do some walking in place. You can do some yoga stretching. We've even seen reports in Italy, people open up their doors and are singing to each other. There's still some ways that we can be active and mobile. So I just encourage us to kind of think outside the box. It'll be okay. And just take a deep breath. That's going to be the big thing. It is affecting all of us, and it'll affect all of us in different ways. And just hang in there. I think that's the biggest aspect is my goal here in going live is to have a community where we can all come together. We can support each other. We can be encouraging, but also we can be informed and empowered. And the big thing is lowering our stress levels, getting lots of good sleep. Don't, miss out on your good, nutritious meals. Your freezers are going to be a good clearinghouse to put your items in. Frozen goods, you can even make frozen items. So if, fresh is what you've got access to and you have greater quantity, it's also a potential time to look at supporting some of your local farmers. We have a local egg vendor that there's no sort of engagement with people. They've always had a little stand you can go grab and you put money in a little box or envelope or whatever. But one of the things that we'll be grabbing our eggs there. Kayla, do you think everything will be okay in 2 weeks? That's an excellent question. I think we are in this for a longer haul than 2 weeks. I think we are looking at, and this, I keep breathing, people. I want to be very realistic and completely honest and transparent. I think if we are not going to take measures, if companies are not going to take measures in sending people home, if corporations and businesses, particularly small business, restaurants and owners, people don't stop traveling, I think we are going to see it have a bigger impact than what we're having right now. I think this week is the week, friends. So let me kind of go into some predictions. This is the week where we're going to have the most amount of tests in the US happen. So more people are going to be tested this week because they say we're going to have greater access. I think there's like, I can't remember the number, but it's a high number, like 3,000 tests. Now honestly, that's not enough. We need to be at 5 times that, but we will see numbers coming out that will be alarming. I mean, we're going to see doubling of numbers. That's to be expected because this has already been in place. This spread, 1 person to 3 to 9, all the way 14 steps to 14.3 million. This is the exponential growth. It's a factor of 3. 1 person who has the virus tested positive, their transmission, their exposure, people exposed to them, guarantee of 3 people will be testing positive, and it just multiplies by those numbers. That multiplier, we're behind the curve on that. This week is our time to get ahead, and getting ahead means staying at home, getting ahead of this curve so we don't have an explosion of cases. We need more testing. People need to have testing access. You're going to see more drive-through facilities. The unfortunate part is that there's a rationing of tests. As I mentioned earlier, and we first started, I have my numbers here of the states most heavily hit: Washington, California, New York, Massachusetts. And then coming up the pike is Florida. And then we've got Colorado, Louisiana, Georgia. The higher cases in the states, those are the states that are going to get the tests. Now, does that mean like Texas hovering at 77? Are they going to be testing people? They will, but not at the quantity. They won't get the quantity of tests. So this is kind of like a triage testing kind of profile that is being a procedure process that's being implemented. It doesn't make sense. I don't agree with it, but this is our reality. So because of that, we have to be preemptive. If you're in Texas, hunker down. Even though you haven't gone above 100 and you have no deaths right now, that could easily change. You've got 77 people. Let's just do 77 times 3, and then you just keep going. That's a big number. And so that's data. That's epidemiology. That is infectious disease statistics and growth. And it's this curve that we see. The key, friends, is for us to be conscious, for us to be cognizant and empowered, and to make decisions. We have to start making decisions not just for ourselves, but for the greater good. All right, so _ K-Rod, how do you feel about hospitals making us nurses only use droplet precautions, surgical masks versus airborne precautions in 95 masks while caring for these patients? Okay, so two questions or 2 things to that note. So this is a question, YouTube, for all of you. You're not seeing the question. So K-Rod, are you a nurse? That's my question for you. So the hospital staff right now are just using surgical masks. They're not using the N95 masks. Those are the masks that are protective. Okay, so K-Rod, thank you for tuning in, K-Rod. And we want to appreciate you for what you're doing as a frontliner. You're awesome. So let's give K-Rod and all of our nurses lots of love because they are going to be dealing with a lot of stress. So first of all, your question specifically, the N95 masks I think are the safest. We have already seen transmission here in Washington in the caregiver world. Our frontliners, there are providers that have their PAs, 2 ER doctors, and we have nurses that have had transmission. And I think because they don't have those protective items, if you can buy them online, I've even seen like the link I posted, I think 13 days ago on my YouTube video, that's now no longer accessible. But they're coming. And I know one of the things why everybody's freaking out about toilet paper, some of these manufacturers are switching. They're not making toilet paper. They're now making the N95 masks. So I know you guys are freaking out. Toilet paper is gone. The reality is that these manufacturers are making things for us to be safer. And that is beneficial. So that would be my one question. Yes, we do. I would recommend Jill Harris, demand the N95 if you can. I don't know if you're unionized. You might want to talk with the union rep to see what the measures are in place that can help further protect you. The other thing I would do is I would be diffusing oils, put droplets of oils in your mask. I would look online and grab the diffusing earrings. They have diffuser earrings, diffuser necklaces. I'll post those for all of you on YouTube. I'll post those after this wraps up. But I would really look at equipping your body and your environment as best you can. Obviously, all the safety precautions you can take. But that is an excellent question. And just know we're loving you and sending you lots of good energy. Your cars, I'm making a video for how to equip your car to be armed, to be equipped to protect you. So the car itself, if as you're transporting, you want to make your home a mecca of safety. You also want to do that with your car as you're moving in and out. And Crystal is sending you lots of love. Heart nurses are wonderful. Yes, they are awesome. Okay, so you're not unionized. Okay, so yeah, I would say talk to the professionals at your CNO, your chief nursing officer, or even your nurse manager. But I think at the end of the day, we are all responsible for ourselves, and that is where we're at today. There are no government mandates. We're not even seeing in the care level world a standardization in terms of policies and procedures that's coming down from the higher level. So federal government generally would kind of offer, these are some guidelines and protocols. That's not happening. And so we're now seeing it at state levels. We're now seeing it at municipality, mayors and governors getting involved in the approach to dealing with this. Okay, so let's see. Let me see. Do we need to use eye masks as well? So not necessarily an eye mask, but definitely goggles, eye protection that would be sealed. That would be my recommendation in a healthcare setting where there could be respiratory particles that you're being exposed to. I'm an RN. All right, Dolores, I'm an RN working in long-term care. We are not unionized. So I think that is something where just talk with your management and definitely encourage them to put out protocols, procedures, but then again, equip yourself. I think that's really important. Dale, hi Dale. I set up a wash station bucket in the trunk of my car. That's awesome. That's an excellent idea. I think that's what we're going to be looking at, is us kind of creating little triage centers and triage areas in our cars, around our cars, trunks, in our garages, because we need to be proactive. So that's what I'm going to recommend. Lorianne Lazan, thank you to all frontline workers. So we're sending all of you nurses lots of love. You guys are doing awesome. And for all you nurses, equip yourselves with like the stress teas, the adrenal supportive supplementation. I've got links on that on YouTube in the description. Your stress is going to be through the roof, and we need you to take care of yourselves so that you can continue to care for us, because we are already hearing some reports. New York is close to capacity with ICU beds. They're now going to be setting up different centers and stations. But we already have a nursing shortage. We already have caregiver shortages. So Miss Haddix, to you, God bless all of our health care workers. Absolutely. Okay. All right, Dr. Melissa, please go up to Elizabeth Wieland and answer her question about her parents. Okay, let me see. I'm going to some questions. Elizabeth Wieland. All right, I'm going to Elizabeth. All right, so Elizabeth Wieland, I'm in upstate New York. I have panic disorder and severe anxiety. My mama has Alzheimer's disease and my dad has vasculitis. I have 2 teenagers. I am so afraid. I totally understand. And this is definitely a very trying time in terms of being aware and knowing what's going on. And I know that you're feeling like there's a lot of people in your life that are looking to you to be strong and stable. And so here's some things. First, lots of deep breaths. Breathe deep And if you are dealing with anxiety or any panic disorder, and generally I'm not in the slant of going medication first, but this is a definite situation where if you have medication, make sure you have it and you have additional medication in the event that you are needing to limit your access. So a lot of folks that have, nebulizers and medications for their everyday health issues, I'm encouraging you to call your doctors and get extra ordered up if you can. Now, obviously insurance is a factor, but have what you need on supply and have maybe a little extra so that you don't have to go out and cause yourself more anxiety or more panic being out in the public setting. The second thing is, with parents, when you're a caregiver, it's hard to balance your own health and their health, and that's probably where a lot of the anxiety and stress is coming from. So, with your parents, with your teenagers, I would first have a chat, have a family meeting, have a chat with your teenagers about limiting their exposure. One of the things is they are social, and I know that teenagers are not going to be wanting to be homebound or limit their, be restrictive in their whereabouts and coming and goings. But at the end of the day, right now, you're going to need to employ your teenagers in helping the family be safe and well. And that empowerment and encouragement might actually help them do a little growing up and encourage them to help you keep your parents safe and also help you. So I hope that's helpful. Just globally for everybody, adrenal supportive supplementation is not a bad idea. Rhodiola, holy basil, that's this tea that I'm drinking, the stress adapt tea. I have a link on this in YouTube. This stuff is great. And it's a clean company. The little tea bag, there's no plastic in it. Like, this is what it looks like. I did 2 this morning. So pulling stats is definitely a little stuff. Hey, buddy, you want to come over here and say hi to everybody? Yeah, I'm bouncing a little kiddo. Do you want to say hi? Come here. No. He's so cute. Come here. Oops. Here. Oh, and then what was that? Oh. And then tonight, say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Oh, he's coming down, my little sweetheart. I want to see a dog eat too. So, welcome to my life. And I know we're all dealing with this. We're all at home. We got a puppy dog over here. So, what I'm going to encourage you all to do, let's take big, deep breaths. Yes. Can you get down? Okay. All right. Will you go see Daddy? I'm almost done, honey. Okay. No, thanks. Okay. So, the big thing is just being very, very cognizant of your stress levels. That at the end of the day is going to be one of the most impactful ways for you to boost your immune system. Dry skin, body brushing, moving your lymphatics. Lymphatic stim, lymph stim is a product that I recommend for all of my patients who have any lymphatic challenges. But now for all of us, our immune system, healthy and folks with dealing with different diagnoses, all of us have an immune system that is paired up with our lymphatic system. So our lymph nodes, that's part of our immune system. That's an immune response. So we want to keep our lymphatics clear, jumping in place, jump roping, rebounding. Those are all good activities, as well as dry skin body brushing. So I want to recommend that for you guys. Some things that I wanted to highlight specifically, this particular product, you guys, I have to cut that out. But we've got this in our store, and that particular botanical that has 3 letters, and I'm censored on YouTube, I can't say, that is a very, very powerful adaptogen. It's an immune modulator and can help balance and de-stress everybody. So thanks everybody for being patient with the family life here. So here's the situation. We're going live again tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will report more news. I'm just going to keep running. This is going to be my notebook. And so I'll just be flipping pages and looking at, okay, we've seen changes across the board. Comment down below for me what specific topics you want me to cover, what specific health concerns as it relates to the COVID-19 do you want me to cover? So I want to make sure that I'm addressing everything for all of you. If it's food list, if it's, what type of medicine or symptom preventers, symptom managers should we equip ourselves? Because that is the next stage. Everybody, I think, this weekend panicked and ran out and went shopping at the grocery stores. But the next component is to equip yourself in the event that you do have sinus congestion, you do have, oh, here comes our FedEx guy. So comment down below, let me know. I'm going to be making notes, heart and thyroid.
Mama?
Yes, sweetheart.
I can't call like
I know, because I unplugged it because it gets really loud, buddy. All right, those three letters got me censored. I actually got 2 strikes on my channel, so I don't talk about that. I actually am shooting video for one of my vendors, and he will post it on his YouTube channel, and I will email. Oh, wait, before we stop, I've got to find where it is. Hold on, friends. I have something for you. No, for my friends here. Where is it? Well, I don't know where I got it. I think I walked around with it. But let me tell you, there is a link. I have created a Corona checklist. I've got links for informative information, details on how to keep your body healthy.
My medicine is important.
I know it is. Give me 1 minute, okay?
Can you do me
Here. Sorry, that's FedEx. 2 of them. Okay. So girls, Daisy, come here. Okay, it's okay. Sorry, we have really great guard dogs here. One of the, hold on 1 second. Girls, stop. Hey, stop. Go lay down. Okay. Mizuki, lay down. Okay. All right. Sorry, you guys. Craziness. Okay. So one of the things, the dogs are totally working. We're fortified with 3 dogs. They're all super nice, but they sound vicious. And our flat coat retriever is like the sweetest of them all, but she goes into like Cujo with that. Okay. All right. Dogs are the best, and loving on your animals is helpful. How long does the virus last? Okay. So Dolores, I'm going to encourage you to rewatch this. I actually covered that in the beginning, so I won't cover that. Okay. So that's good. Ayurveda. I'll do a little bit of Ayurveda tomorrow. Sabina, I appreciate that. That's good. Ginger, I wipe my delivered package and the items inside with a bleach and water solution. Can that help kill the virus? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Okay, so tomorrow, here's the plan. I'm going to give you an update. I am going to talk a little bit about some Ayurvedic medicine. And the good news is with Ayurvedic medicine, that's something that won't always be in the kind of public perspective.
Mama, you don't have real friends on your computer.
I don't have real friends. Gabriel says you guys aren't my real friends. That's not true. These are all my friends.
Yes.
So one of the things that the benefit of we'll go into homeopathics and Ayurveda tomorrow. There's going to be availability with that, and I'll go through my full script store and see what we've got. I actually, one of my reps is on watching on Instagram too. So I'm going to keep you guys abreast of what we have accessible and available. And that'll be really key. The other thing that I want to do is I will kind of continually talk about how to equip your homes and cars. I'll detail a little bit about the car items. I've got a video coming out today on YouTube where I detail that Aldi haul. And then I've got more that I'm going to shoot today. So today's going to be a working day from home. But I'd encourage you to grab, for particularly YouTube, down below in the description box, you can find, I have a free antiviral checklist. It's about 6 pages. Instagram, if you guys want to, just DM me and we'll send you the link to grab it. All you have to do, it just pops up a landing page, name and email. That's how we send it. It's how we transmit it. That will put you into my email sequencing for the pandemic. And the email sequencing is something that I've got emails going out daily with updates and information. So I hope that's helpful. Oh, Lorianne, must figure out the problems with my full script. Will you message me, Lorianne? I don't know what that might be, but I'll make sure we get on that. Okay. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, little man is super cute. They're fun. They make life fun. All right. So we will cover a lot of the Ayurvedic, homeopathic questions, and I will also talk a little about oil pulling. That's going to be something that we'll cover tomorrow too. So I am so grateful for your time. Do you know, friends, that we're going to get through this. This will pass. We're in it for the long haul. And that means that every day we just have to be patient and we have to be calm. There's an aspect where we just kind of have to release and go with the flow. And that lymphatically is good for our immune system. That is going to be very impactful in helping reduce the stress of this response for us. So stay tuned. Watch for YouTubers, watch for a video coming out later on today. I hope that will be helpful. Instagram, we're going to be posting more stories. And I'll post this. I'll make this cleaner and I'll post this on Instagram. But feel free, friends, if you want to screenshot me right now, screenshot it and post this, because this is really the data doesn't lie. Numbers are what they are. Epidemiology is what it is. Now we just have to be cognizant, empowered, and equipped with knowledge and information. And that's my hope every day, coming to you live here in this setting. So without that, we will see you. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. bright and early. Stay well, everybody. Keep breathing. Check the links down below in YouTube. Instagram, run over to my YouTube channel. All of the things I've talked about, there are links down below where you can grab a lot of the items. And as far as full script, those links right now, those items, they're in stock. Can't guarantee it by noon, so definitely do check it out. Much love, peace, health, and happiness. Please like this video. Please share it. That really helps. YouTube is, I don't know why, but they're censoring my lives now. So it's very frustrating. So I only get about 4 hours where I've got a chance to get this in front of people. So thanks, everybody. Charla and Yanni and Lois, it's so great to see all my members. I'm so grateful for your support. And I'm actually looking at doing a members only Q&A session this week. So stay tuned. I'll post on our community tab. If any of you want to be our member, be part of our member community here on YouTube, there's a link. If you go to my main YouTube site, it says join. You can join here. So thanks, everybody. I will see you guys on tomorrow's live. Have a great day. Be safe. Be well. I'll save this on YouTube and I will see you guys tomorrow.